I'm going to tell you why the Chicago Bears are the most dangerous team in the NFC, and it starts right now. By the way, if you have not entered the Love for Love giveaway, please go to the community tab and do so. We are giving away one of these lovely Chicago Bear logo heads for your studio, a 36-inch logo head brought to you by Martinelli Originals. They are the people who have sponsored this video and who have shown so much love to us, knowing that we want to show love back to you. So please go click, find out how you can win one of your own Chicago Bears logos for your studio. Now, the Chicago Bears are 5-1. Who would have thunk it, right? And honestly, are being looked on by the national media like they're 1-5. Heck, being looked on by most Chicago Bears fans like they're 1-5. Hearing a lot of disrespect in the media towards the Chicago Bears team that, for the most part, has done what they had to do, as Nick Foles said, winning ugly, to get to a 5-1 record. So I started going through all the teams in the NFC, not only just in the NFC North, but throughout the entire NFC. And as you break it down, I realized that the Chicago Bears are honestly the most dangerous team in the NFC. Don't believe me? Let's break it down by division. But let's start things off right here at home, right? You look at the NFC North. The Lions, we've already taken care of that. Not worried about the Lions at all. The Vikings are a joke once again, and we probably won't lose to them this season. But then you got to look at the Green Bay Packers, right? The Green Bay Packers are the measuring stick for the NFC. That's your toughest competition. And honestly, when you look at the Packers, are they a dangerous team? Of course, they have Aaron Rodgers. That's a bad man standing behind that line. But is that line as good at protecting Aaron Rodgers as we thought? Well, I think that Tom Brady and his Tampa Bay Buccaneers really showed that there are some cracks in that offensive line that you can get through. And they put a lot of that on film to the tune of 5 sacks that day. I mean, they really were destroying that offensive line up front. And now you're thinking about, okay, that's DeForest Buckner. Of course, he's going to be able to do that. But oh snap, we got Akeem Hicks, we got Khalil Mack, we got Robert Quinn, we've got guys who can get in that backfield as well. We've got a dangerous front as well. So now that they've seen exactly how to dismantle this Packers offensive line, don't you think they're going to be looking at that tape, taking deep dives into what's going to be done? I guarantee you Chuck Pagano's at least taking a look at that tape and put that in the archives. So to me, what the Packers do best is honestly the best trait of the Bears. I mean, offensively, is this team dangerous? Absolutely. But the Chicago Bears have shown that they're very good against the pass. They're top of the NFL against the pass. So if you're able to get pressure on Aaron Rodgers, which it looks like you're going to be able to do, you're really going to be able to affect the pass. And now you look at the rushing game. They're top 10 in rushing as well. Okay, well, let's attack that. Versus the Carolina Panthers, did the Bears finally figure out how to stop the rushing game? We saw them hold the Carolina rushing offense that had been dominating teams the past 3 games, and they held them to about 58 yards of total rushing. And now when you look to the defensive side, is that Packers defense dominant? Does it put fear in your heart? It's a middling defense. It's not dominant. I don't think it's something that Nick Foles couldn't attack. I don't think that is something that could destroy the Chicago Bears on the other side. Now, based on that offensive line, that's really going to be a lot of where a lot of your offensive struggles come from with the Chicago Bears team. But is it a line is it the worst line we faced? Is it the scariest line we faced? I'd say no. And I think that the Chicago Bears can, if they can get this offensive line together a little bit, can honestly do some damage against the Green Bay Packers. By the way, when we play the Packers both times this year, it's going to be after playing Indy and playing Tennessee. So they're going to be coming to you after they've already probably had their line beat up a little bit by other teams as well. So that kind of goes in the Bears' favor. By the way, I want to know your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. How good do you think this 5-1 Chicago Bears team really is? Let's go to the NFC South, shall we? So your 2 top teams in the NFC South, couple dangerous teams that you definitely have to look out for, but I don't think that they're unbeatable teams. Let's look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We already know that they're beatable. You already got that formula on tape, and besides that, you won't meet them again unless you meet them in the playoffs. So I really like what the Bears did against Tom Brady, against that offense, especially defensively. And then on the offensive side, they were able to attack a top 10 defense and put up points. Now, is it the scoring that we want to see? Is it amazing scoring from this offense? No, but they were able to put up points against one of the best defenses in the league, enough points to win the game anyway. There's absolutely room for improvement, but I think that this offense is moving in the right direction, minus the offensive line, which is your most important thing. I know. Listen, I know. Trust me, I know. But even with that, you're seeing Nick Foles kind of figure out, all right, well, I've got this much time, let's run this play. I got this much time, let's take advantage of these short routes. Let's take advantage of the draw play. Like things are changing. Things are changing in this offense to mold it to what Nick Foles wants to do. And they're changing in the right direction because we're seeing more points on the board every week. Now you got to look at that second place team there as well. The New Orleans Saints are a team that scares me a little bit more. They might be a more dangerous team than we've seen. They're absolutely a more dangerous team than we've seen, actually, because they've been without Michael Thomas. But still a 3-2 team. And honestly, as I look at Drew Brees, that is not the same Drew Brees. And again, another team who, when you look at what they do best, it's still passing. They're not a top 10 team in rushing. They're not a team that you can count out in the rushing game, but they're not a team that scares me rushing wise. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not a team that when you look at them, it's just like, oh my God, these guys are going to gash us for 200 yards today. You know, their game is the passing game, and it's always been the passing game. You look at this offense, for the most part, top 5 in points put up, top 5 in third down conversions, but most of that is through the air. And once again, this Chicago Bears defense really gets after the pass. They are one of the most dangerous teams against the pass. And if you look at the defensive side of the ball, that Saints team is still going to give up a lot of points. There's a lot of opportunities for you to score points against this Saints team. One of the best teams against the run, but against the pass, they are very beatable. And so I don't see them as a team that is, oh my God, over the top. The Bears can't stop these guys. Now, when Michael Thomas comes back, that might be a very different team. But to me, as I look at the Saints, are they a dangerous team? Yeah, I think all of these top teams are dangerous teams. But I think when you look at what the Bears have, especially going against most of these teams, you see a team with a ton of potential to grow while already having one of the best defenses in the NFL. And to me, I think that's going to scare a lot of teams in this NFC, especially when you look at the NFC West. I mean, look, if any team's going to be the team that somebody would say is the most dangerous team, you'd think it'd be the Seattle Seahawks, right? Let's back that thing up a little bit. Because how everybody wants to come out and say that, oh, the Chicago Bears, they haven't played anybody. They really haven't shown anything on tape that they're okay. Well, let's take a look at this Seahawks schedule. Week 1 versus the Falcons. We knew that was coming. Week 2 versus the Patriots. Okay, that's probably a competitive game. You versus Cam Newton, I'll give you that. Week 3 versus the Cowboys. Went blow for blow with a Cowboys team that has proven to be pretty terrible overall. Week 4 versus the Dolphins. Okay, I can see why you'd go 4-0 there. Week 5 versus the Vikings. Also can see why you go 5-0 there. So to me, if we're gonna have that same energy with the national media is saying that the Chicago Bears, oh, you guys haven't played anybody. You guys are 5-1, but you're not really 5-1. Well, honestly, I'd say there's about one competitive game in that Seahawks schedule. Now, does that mean that they're not a good team? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. This team offensively is crazy. What Russell Wilson can do offensively is crazy. But when you're going up against this team, let me tell you something. Even with the names on that defense, even with the Jamal Adams, the Seattle defense is honestly one of the worst defenses in the NFL. I mean, they give up almost 500 yards a game, 370 passing yards a game, now 27 points a game. And if you got it on third down, you got a 50-50 shot at completing the play. So once again, you're looking at another team in the NFC that's best attribute is putting points on the board. By the way, the Chicago Bears defense is best at not allowing points to be put on the board, not allowing touchdowns to be put on the board. And if you think it's not for real, they held Tom Brady to 1 touchdown. They held Phillip Rivers to 1 touchdown. Guys who are putting up big points in multiple games this season. So Russell Wilson, yeah, can he come out and put it on you? Probably, but this Bears defense has shown time and time again that they're going to be able to keep that, especially in the red zone, that they're one of the best teams in the red zone. They're going to stop you from being able to be efficient down there. They're going to stop you from scoring touchdowns. They're going to hold you to field goals. So when I look at the Seattle team, I'm like, well, your best attribute is once again something the Chicago Bears do best. Oh, by the way, your defense, horrible. And so while Seattle 5-0, do they scare me? Are they an unbeatable team? Absolutely not. And I think that the Bears, with their room to improve on offense, as well as that Super Bowl caliber defense, listen, that scares me way more if I'm another team. I think if you look at the Arizona Cardinals, they're a team that can put points on the board. They're a team that can do some things to you, but I think they're a growing team. They're a team that's still trying to find themselves as well. They're kind of a middling team on both fronts. Now they've got a pretty stout defense as well. They can really get after you. And offensively, listen, when you got Larry Fitzgerald and DeAndre Hopkins on your team and Kyler Murray doing what he's doing, you're definitely going to make some noise. And they've made some noise in this NFC West. But to me, I don't think that they're there yet. I don't think that they're a team that you're going to have to fear going forward, especially seeing as how we wouldn't play them until the playoffs pretty much. So they don't bother me as much. Then that leaves us with the LA Rams. And to me, the Rams are a team like the Chicago Bears, a team that's led by their defense. They're a team that is going to come out, get after you. Aaron Donald's going to do what Aaron Donald's going to do. I honestly think that this Monday night game is going to show a lot about the Chicago Bears. It's going to show how they can stand in there and deal with that test of top defenses coming at you. They've struggled against that this season, right? But on the other side, you got Jared Goff. And to me, I am not a believer in Jared Goff. I think that Jared Goff he's an okay quarterback, but I don't think that if you force him to beat you, if you're able to shut down the run versus Jared Goff and force his arm to be the reason that the LA Rams win the game, I think that you absolutely can beat the LA Rams. And so to me, that makes them a very, very beatable team. And I wouldn't put them in as one of the most dangerous teams in the NFC. But I want to know your opinion. Let me know in the comments. But, I did what? I forgot the NFC East. Shut up. But I want to know your opinion. Let me know in the comments below. How dangerous do you think this 5-1 Bears team is? To me, honestly, I look at a lot of these teams in the rest of the division, and I'm saying, okay, yeah, they're pretty good offensively, but the Bears are one of the best defensive teams in the league. Look, they're going to be able to slow you down offensively completely. And then we've got an offense who every week seems to be moving a little bit, not much, but a little bit more in the right direction. They all seem to be getting more and more on the same page and heading towards the end of the season. That is a dangerous thing to have on your team. But as I said, let me know how you feel in the comments below. I am going to get up out of here. It is your boy Pat, the designer, back at it again. If you want to continue watching our content, click the link here or check the links in the description below. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Peace.